going on, guys? Welcome to another poker vlog. I'm Tio. If you don't already know, I play live casino poker at a competitive level, and as you can tell, we are out here, Rama. We're out here, Rama. This is our third time on the vlog. This is probably my fourth time maybe live at Rama, and let's hop into it. Let's hop into the mix. Let's have some fun. Let's play some 2-5. We're on the list for everything. I called in for everything. Didn't even tell him that I wanted Omaha. I didn't tell him that I wanted Holdem. I didn't tell him anything at all. I just want to be on the list for everything because I love poker. So hopefully you guys love it as much as I do. But I'm ready to go. I don't know if you're ready to go. Let's have some fun hands, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So stay tuned. Yeah. What's going on, guys? So we're just walking out of the room right now, and I'm just gonna talk a little bit about it when we get outside, because it was a really tough session, and yeah, it's a really tough session. Couldn't get anything going, absolutely nothing. So see you guys in a little bit. All right, so we're outside, and as I said, man, I don't know, this session has been super tough, and I'm tired, so I don't really want to talk about it right now. I think I'm gonna talk about it when I'm refreshed, so guess I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. So yeah, wasn't a fun session. See, sometimes this is how poker is, you know. It's not always fun and games, and it's not always easy. Sometimes you're gonna lose a few buy-ins, and sometimes you're gonna get yourself stuck. But it's kind of like how you handle it. It's not that like right now I'm like really pissed or anything like that, because the game was super awesome. It was amazing. I'm gonna tell you about it tomorrow. But yeah, I'm just walking in the parking lot now. It was a super awesome game. And yeah, we just couldn't get anything going, you know. Like sometimes that's just the way it goes. You're playing super well, you're getting certain cards, they don't connect, you're betting into stronger hands, you're hitting everybody's top of their range, and things just kind of don't work out for you. But yeah, that's kind of what happened tonight. So yes, maybe I'm just gonna shoot a little bit of scenery at night here, and yeah, catch you tomorrow, I guess. So, see you in a bit. So I'm talking about scenery. Guys, it's late at night. There's not much scenery going on, so I guess I can forget about the scenery, and yeah, see you tomorrow. What's going on, guys? So you made it to day 2. Isn't that sweet? As you can tell, we are in a totally different environment right now. We're actually at a park, and yeah, I'm just kind of, taking everything in. And whenever you have a losing session,
You know, obviously we were a little bummed out because any losing session doesn't feel good. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get like different levels of feel good and feel bad. Obviously, if you make a huge comeback, then it feels way better. But you know, when you end up being stuck, maybe a buy-in, maybe sometimes even more, then kind of like gets to sting a little bit. So it's always good to just kind of enjoy life and remember that everything is not about bad beats. Everything is not about poker. And sometimes you just gotta come out to some of these lovely places and just have some time to yourself. Maybe think about the hand that you played, and maybe think about what you could have done better. Maybe think about if there are any mistakes that you've done. And ultimately, you want to improve your game. You want to just continuously get better and better and better and better. But you know, enough of this little rant. Let's just start the hands. So I know you guys are here for day 2, so thanks for making it this far. I'm just gonna plant my camera somewhere. All right, guys, so isn't this way better than the front seat of my car? This is freaking awesome. I got the lake right behind me, Lake Ontario, and we got some trees way out there. And yeah, I mean, it's not a beach, but whatever, you know. Not everybody's got a place to be in Las Vegas or California or something like that, but who knows? Maybe one day we're gonna travel around and end up being out there playing on the West Coast, and then, you know, catching some pretty cool waves or something like that when we're out there surfing. Anyways, for now, we are here for hand number 1. So before we get into anything, let's just kind of talk about the game. And as I said earlier, this has been a crazy, crazy, crazy game. Everybody was just a little loose. People were shooting, and by shooting I mean people were going all in with less than premium holdings, less than pairs, guys, and calling all ins with bottom pairs, and just getting into the river with, I don't know. I haven't seen anything like this before. This like it's insane. I haven't seen a game like this in many years. As soon as I sat down, things just progressively started getting better and better and better and better. So anyway, there were a few key guys at the table. There were mainly 2 guys, which were pretty much just out there to have fun. They were drinking, they were having a good time, they were making jokes, they knew each other, they were buddies, and they were pretty much getting to the point where they're like red in the face drunk type of thing. So they're obviously having a good time, and you know, I engage with anybody that's having a good time. I don't care, like I'm there to have a good time too. So, you know, we started cracking jokes, and we kind of like kept things friendly. So doesn't really matter to me. Like if I lose a certain pot to some of these guys, I'm not gonna get mad. I mean, yeah, I know that they're just out there to have fun. They're probably gonna suck out 1 time, 2 time. Maybe I'm gonna be the unlucky guy that they're gonna suck out on. So anyways, I know that going into it, and I just hope that it's not one of those sessions where, you know, everything is against you. But yeah, as you kind of got earlier, things kind of were against me. So anyway, let's start off with the first hand. So later in the game, even more crazy opponents start showing up. So when I get to the later hands, I'm going to talk about those guys too. But anyway, for now, we've been playing pretty snug, and we're about, I don't know, maybe like what, 2 orbits into the hand or something like that, or 2 orbits into the game. We wake up with Jack 7 of hearts, and we are in middle position 2. It's 7-handed. Folds around to us. I mean, we're gonna get hopefully some credit here, and we got the small blind who's that entertaining drunken player who I was talking about. So we definitely want to kind of like isolate against him, and that's kind of like the gist of this hand. I'm opening it just because he's in the small blind. He's probably gonna play anything because he's playing anything and everything. So you might as well just raise it up, try to get a heads up. Hopefully, maybe 3-way, but we're gonna see how it goes. So we open at $20, and we get the cutoff who calls. His friend who's on the button folds. Small blind calls, and the big blind also calls. Now we get a flop of 5-9-3. All hearts. So we flop a flush. Okay. It's looking pretty good. I mean, I'm thinking like Value Town right now, and show me the money. Pay me something. So we're gonna see what happens. Everybody checks to us, and we decide to bet here. We bet $55. I think it's pretty reasonable here to bet 55, and I mean, you don't want to bet too big. You don't want to just kind of like scare people off and stuff. And you want to keep weaker holdings in. I mean, if these guys are calling with like one pair type hands, maybe even worse than that, then you definitely want to keep some really garbage hands in there that are potentially even drawing dead. So we have at 55. Everybody folds to the big blind, and now the big blind calls. Okay, the big blind's been pretty tight. He hasn't done too many crazy things. He was kind of away like half the time, so don't really have any reads on the guy. But anyway, we go heads up to the turn. Deuce of diamonds on the turn. He checks, and we bet 135. And now he decides to go all in. He insta-ships. So at this point, I'm thinking like, oh man. I have a jack high flush. I haven't seen this guy really play all that much. Maybe he might be thinking like, you know, with something worse there. If he's got like, I don't know, any other flush, like an 8 high flush maybe. Maybe he's got a 10 high flush. Maybe he's got something like 4-6 hearts, straight flush draw. I don't know. There are definitely some things that he can have there, but they're definitely higher flushes that he could have. And I think that if he was slow playing, ace high would make sense, an ace high flush. But if he's got anything else, like a lower flush, I really think that he's probably going to show some action on the flop, maybe try to protect it. But you don't really know. Sometimes it's kind of like hit and miss, 50-50. They might just call, see a turn card. If the turn card's a heart, they might give up if they have a small flush and take it from there. But anyway, there's not that much left for us to call, so can't really see us folding a jack high flush. We call. The river is an offsuit 5, so pairs the board, and I flip over my jack 7. Didn't even wait for him because I figured that my hand was pretty good. He kind of looked like he wasn't sure about his hand, and he takes some time, and then he thinks about it for a little bit, double checks the hand, stands up at the table, and kind of like looks over to see like, oh, what do I got? And he flips over queen 10 of hearts, so nothing you can do about that hand. So let's just move on to hand number 2. Hopefully things get better. I don't know. You're gonna find out. All right, so like 2 or 3 hands later, we wake up with pocket kings. So, okay, it's looking pretty good. We got the second nuts. We're under the gun. We're in EP1, and we're 500 effective. Maybe this is time to make some money back. We're hoping people get nuts here and crazy and put in some raises and re-raises and whatnot. But anyway, we open the 20 bucks, standard open, and we get 7 callers. I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to do? 7 callers, guys. 7 callers. So 7 ways to the flop, and the flop is Jack 8-8. I don't know. Do I just give up? Like, what do you do? Do you give up in this hand? I decide to bet 55. I mean, I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up. I bet 55. EP2 calls. And then the small blind also calls as well. Everybody else folds. So 3 ways to the turn. At this point, I'm not really loving my hand, and I'm pretty much done with it. Anything that happens, I'm convinced that somebody has to have an 8 at this point. I mean, they could have a jack, and they're kind of just testing the waters. Maybe they both have jacks, but I don't know. Maybe somebody's got like a weak 8. They're kind of scared, and they don't want to put more money into the pot. But yeah, definitely done with the hand. And the jack comes on the turn. So, yeah, I'm totally done with the hand now. It's like game over. And the small blind leads out for 60 bucks. And we insta-muck. And then E2 flips over an 8. So he probably had a weak 8 that he was calling me with. Yeah, what can you do? I don't know. What do you guys do? Comment below. Do you fold? I guess maybe check fold the flop. But I hate giving up, you know what I mean? Like, hand number 3. Let's just go to hand number 3. Forget that hand. Hand number 3. That hand was just starting to lose my mind already. Got to refocus. At this point, you know, you lose hand 1, you lose hand 2, and Now you're trying to like concentrate, and you're trying to just keep sane, not tilt. That's kind of the main thing right now. We're not tilting. So now we wake up with ace 8 offsuit. We're middle position 3, and we got 500 effective. At this point, we've just been chiseled down. We haven't really won anything, obviously. I haven't really reported any winning hands. So we open up 20 bucks because loose drunk player is in the big blind, and we obviously want to attack that big blind. Obviously, he's going to play that 100% of the time, and he's going to play, I would say, a little loose and passive and call station-y post flop. So we definitely want to play him, and we're going to try to get a heads up if we can. Great. If not, well, we're going to see what we can do. So we go to 20, and the cutoff calls, button calls, and then the big blind calls. So 4 of us to the flop, and flop is 8-9-3. It's offsuit. So it's not so bad. I mean, yeah, we do have second pair. It's a rainbow board, so don't love it, don't hate it. It's like we're right in the middle there. And against the big blind, who is pretty loosey-goosey, I think he's probably going to call at least like one bet. Hoping he's going to call one bet. And when he calls, I mean, he could have anything. At this point, like anything. He's calling anything. So checks to us, and we decide to bet. And we bet 35, and then everybody folds. So take that one down. Obviously, it would have been nice if the big blind called, but hey, we won one hand, so we're on the way to recovery, I guess, like slow and steady. Anyway, let's just go on to hand number 4. So this is where it gets really fun. At this point, we got our 2 kind of like, I would say, crazier players that just sat down, and they've been playing with us for maybe about an orbit or so. And one of the crazy guys is actually in EP1, and he decides to limp, and then E2 limps, and then M1 limps, and E2 is the drunken friend, and then M1 is also the drunker friend. So definitely want to bump it up there and isolate them. And then we go to 30 bucks, try to isolate it, and now it folds around to E1. And then he gives a speech about, oh, he's trying to steal the blinds. Oh, he's trying to steal it. Oh, that's not how I play poker. Oh, I'm here to play. I'm here to play type of thing. And I'm like, all right, man. I'm here to play too. I got a good hand. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, limp along? So obviously he's a little macho. He's demonstrated that he's a little crazy, and he's not afraid of betting. So he calls. And then E2 folds. Mind you that drunken buddy number 1 is actually pretty tight passive. Like, he doesn't do anything crazy. It's drunk buddy number 2 who's just been, the one that's calling down with everything and playing anything. So obviously he calls. And 3 ways to the flop, guys. So the flop is 10, Jack 3, 2 clubs. Good thing is we got a backdoor flush draw. And we got a gut shot to the nuts, 2 overcards, so looking pretty good. They both check to us. At this point, I think it's pretty standard bet here. We have 2 overcards, and I think E1, although he is crazy and a little macho, he kind of plays more straightforward, has a narrower range, and I think that he's always limping stuff like suited connectors under the gun, and he's got small pairs, so that's kind of his main range. Now, M1 obviously doesn't have a range. His range is 100%. So he could have literally anything and everything at this point. And he decides to call. So M1, our drunken buddy number 2, decides to call. And we know that he could have essentially anything. Turn is an offsuit 6. So it doesn't bring anything else. It doesn't bring us a flush draw or anything. And we obviously don't improve our hand. But we don't know what he has. He could have absolutely anything at this point. He could have a draw. He could have just an ace high, so you don't really know. So he checks, and it does really look like he wants to get to the river for cheap. And instead of doing anything, I just pile it in. So I throw in a $100 chip, and he calls the rest of it for his last 51 bucks. And I say, I'm just on a draw. I mean, I'm honest, right? I'm just on a draw. I got shot. And he flips over his hand because he thinks he's good. And he's got ace 8. I thought for a second maybe he had ace 6, like he turned the pair. No, ace 8. So he's got ace 8. I flip him my hand instantly because, I don't want to like slow roll anybody. And I'm happy. I'm obviously happy at this point, right? I'm like, sweet. Show me the money. Show me the river. Hopefully bricks. 8 on the river, guys. 8 on the freaking river. This is not looking good for us. Like it's we win a little bit and then lose a bunch. And that was like his last 100. By this point, he was like rebuying and just, splashing around $200 at a time. So, he was down a sizable amount of money. He was probably down about like 2,000 bucks. And, that was his last buy-in. So, it is what it is. He won it, congratulated him, and we move on to the next hand. So, let's see what happens. Hand number... I even lost track. I lost track. What hand are we on? 5. We're on hand number 5. Gotta move a little bit and stretch. My legs are starting to go numb right now. Okay. This is gonna be the last hand because we've done plenty of hands and obviously things aren't going well for us. So let's just see what develops in this hand. So we got ace 10 offsuit, middle position 2, 9-handed, E2 limps and 1 limps, and then we raise it to 25 bucks. I think it's pretty standard at this point. Yeah, it would have been better to have ace 10 of diamonds, but ace 10 of hearts or whatever. But anyways, can't always be suited. And I feel like we definitely want to get heads up against the limper, who's, again, the mighty drunk dude. So drunken buddy number 2, we want to get heads up against him, and we want to get some money. So that's kind of what we do. We raise it up, and then M3 cold calls, BT cold calls, big blind cold calls, E2, and M1 also complete. So now it's 6 ways to the flop, guys. Everybody's in. Macho's in as well. Flop is ace queen 6, 2 diamonds. So we got the ace of diamonds, we got a backdoor flush draw, and we have a top pair. Not the strongest kicker, but I feel like ace king definitely would have had a 3-bet somewhere along the way, and anything else would have probably raised themselves. So I think our ace is pretty strong here. I can't say that it's the best hand because sometimes people overcall with ace queen, but queen is out there, so it discounts ace queen. They could potentially have a hand like ace jack. That's probably the only hand that's beating me at this point, I think. And of course, a hand like ace 6 that makes 2 pair, or a set of 6s, of course. And queen 6. Queen 6 definitely in there. You obviously know all the hands that can beat us. Anyway, checks to us, and we c-bet 55. Then the button cold calls. And we got some history with the button. We've known him from Woodbine. We've played together quite a number of hands, actually. And we've played together on a number of occasions. So we definitely have some history. And I believe that he can take things a little aggressively. And he can definitely try to outplay in position. So, yeah, we're kind of expecting something. And then everybody else folds. So, heads up to the turn, and the turn bricks. Offsuit 3. At this point, if he's got a flush draw, which I think he most likely does, we definitely want to just rip it in there because he's smart enough to just check behind. I don't think that he's ever going to bet there with a draw when it checks to him. So, yeah, we definitely have to bet here. So we go all in, and he thinks for maybe 3 seconds, and then he calls, and river bricks. We show our hand. And he kind of stares. He stares at the board, stares at his hand, stares at the board, stares at the hand. Does that for about maybe 10, 15 seconds. And at this point, I'm like, okay, there's no way that he's still rolling me right now. And mucks his hand, and we finally take one decent pot down. So, can things turn around? Well, spoiler alert, no. So after this hand, that was literally the last big pot that we won. We just started going downhill. We started literally trying to isolate players. We try to isolate the crazy ones. Drunken player number 2 especially, who's been running super hot right now. At this point, guys, he's just been hitting every flop, catching everything, winning all the pots. People are paying him off. He's making big hands. He's turning crap hands into big hands. He's just, coolering people. And I don't know. He ran his stack to like $2,000. 2,000. So he's probably about even on the night. He's obviously happy. I'm happy for him. He is obviously a fun recreational player. And it's definitely not cool to see somebody lose like $2,000 when you know that they probably can't afford it. But yeah, I mean, like, I could see it. Like, if he loses $200, $300, $400, $500, I don't feel as bad. But when I see people that are getting down to their last dollar, it just kind of hurts a little bit inside. But anyways, it was a good thing to see him run it up, and he was just cleaning the table. Unfortunately, we had to go. I would have loved to stay and play a little longer, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. And we had to leave the game. I think definitely could have made money back. Definitely super positive EV game. And yeah, you just gotta live to fight another day. You can't always win, and even when you're in a good game, sometimes you're gonna run bad, and you're gonna get chiseled down. You're gonna lose a little pot here, a little pot there, another little pot there. Your bluffs aren't gonna work. You're gonna run top of people's ranges, and it looks like you may be potentially playing really bad game. But when you sit back and realize it, maybe if you take a break, maybe you go to day 2, you're gonna kind of judge for yourself and see that, yeah, you were playing pretty snug. And as long as you don't tilt, like, that's the key thing. We didn't tilt once. We didn't go crazy. We didn't, start playing super, super loose because we wanted to make our money back. I was, fully rolled for the game. It's not like I was down to my last bind or anything like that. But, yeah, when you're in these situations, guys, remember, the number one thing, don't tilt. I know it's easier said than done, but just don't tilt. That's like the best piece of advice that I can give you. Oh, I gotta stretch my legs again. Sorry, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you to it, guys. Don't tilt, play hard, play smart, and remember, review your hands after a game, review your session. Be honest with yourself. Did you play bad? Did you play smart? And yeah, I'm gonna leave it to that. All right. Please like, subscribe, and guys, as always, thanks for watching. And you made it so far. So, you guys that are still around, I thank you again. You guys are the true subscribers. And another thing, I wanted to kind of mention this earlier on, but if you guys are ever wondering how YouTube makes money and how vloggers make money, how YouTubers make money, it pretty much comes from ad revenue. And essentially any ad at the beginning of the video, you watch that for whatever it is, like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. When you watch the full ad, then us as vloggers, we get reimbursed. Well, not reimbursed, but we get a commission from that the advertisement. So if you guys watch like the 15 seconds or the 5 seconds, I'm sure that everyone on YouTube would totally appreciate it. So just keep that in mind, guys. Support the vlogs, support the vloggers out there, and have a fun day playing poker. I will catch you on the next one. Thanks again for watching. There's one thing I forgot to mention, and I always say it, but you know that Taco Bell button? Please, 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 please click it. What happens is, another YouTube thing, even when you hit subscribe, it doesn't always send out invites to everybody that's on the sub list. So YouTube does some weird stuff, and when you do hit that taco button, or the Taco Bell button, then it automatically forces YouTube to feed the video to you. So if you want to see another video, I appreciate it. Have a good one. Gonna do some more scenery for you, so